Leaders, can I say something that might actually feel a little too real tonight? A lot of us, we're tired, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. You're leading through uncertainty, you're carrying vision, you're showing up for others, and sometimes for yourself. And somewhere along the way, resilience stopped feeling like strength and started feeling like survival. And here's what I've come to understand in my own journey, in my own story. Resilience is not about just trying to endure, it's about how you rebuild while you're still leading. Because I've had seasons where I was pouring into rooms, showing up on stages, leading organizations, and still asking myself quietly, do I have the capacity for this? And I know I'm not alone. That's why tonight's conversation matters so much. Because what if resilience is not just about bouncing back? What if it's actually about building something stronger, more sustainable, and more aligned than what existed before? Tonight, we're talking about being a bold force, not in noise, not in pressure, but in purpose. Denise Williams has built her life and her work around this very idea. From corporate leadership to community advocacy, she has seen firsthand what happens when people are given the tools, the space, and the support to rise, not just as individuals, but as a collective. Through her work with Be ReZilient and her newest project, Force, she is helping leaders and entrepreneurs not just survive their season, but actually lead through it with clarity, conviction, and with care. So if you've been carrying a lot, if you've been leading while you're actually low, if you've been trying to figure out your next move, I want you to lean in. Because tonight is about helping you lead boldly and, more importantly, lead with sustainability. What's making strong leaders in this season? Leadership and influence. It's rooted in the responsibility you take. You pay attention to the patterns. Your calm, your strength, your hope, it's all integrated. We are living in a time where trust is fragile and people are watching not just what leaders say, but how they decide. Integrity is not optional anymore. Obedience is going to cost you. In this season, we're not just flipping adversity, we're forming leaders who can carry what comes next. Leaders from across all dimensions of fields and spaces, they are going to come together to give you the best of their wisdom. And I want you to leave each episode with a call to action. That's the work, that's the calling, and that's the conversation we're stepping into together. Welcome to the flip side of adversity. I am Dr. Virgia Jackson, your CEO and creative behind Living Strong Consulting. And I am so excited about this powerhouse conversation with my good friend. And when you can have your good friend who also aligns with your values, aligns with your vision, and create space for your dreams to blossom and grow, it is just an added value in every direction. So let me tell you a little bit about her, and then we're going to jump into this. Denise Williams is the founder of Be ReZilient, a resilience coach and community advocate dedicated to empowering individuals and revitalizing communities through trust, empathy, and intentional leadership. With a background spanning corporate leadership at Vanguard and direct service roles in human services, she brings a unique blend of strategy and compassion to her work. Through her newest project, Force, the programming and community initiatives that will come from, and the newest environment, The Vibe, Denise and her partners equip leaders and entrepreneurs with the tools to build sustainable success while fostering healing, growth, and belonging. So, she is no stranger to the flip side. She's been here before, so I will say welcome back to the flip side, Denise.
Thank you so much. I am so glad to be here with you, my friend. Yes. And I wish we had some tea in front of us, because this is just going to be one of those sessions where we're going to sip some tea and give some tea.
Yes, all the things.
All the things.
All the things. I'm so grateful. Your schedule is insane. And so I appreciate you creating the time and the space for us to have this conversation. I shared with you that my goal in 2026 is to have authentic conversations with 47 leaders across different fields, really talking about not just the theory of leadership, but I want to talk to people who are actually doing the thing. Because what I found as I'm working with organizations and teams, that leaders are exhausted.
Yeah, they're depleted.
And that exhaustion has people like drift away from their vision, drift away from the type of leader that they want to be. And I have watched you really stand in spaces of authenticity, of integrity, and purpose. And so I can't wait for leaders to hear how you do it, girl.
Well, you know, I think one of the key things is being transparent. Exhausted. And exhaustion can show itself mentally, physically. It can make you lose your why. Yes. And I don't want to have this conversation and make it seem like I've never had these moments, because I have these moments, and that is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about making sure that other leaders have the support, other business people have the support that they need, because it's almost like my whole why started with a storm cloud. And sometimes the storm cloud, you're like, Lord, why is this cloud still over me? And you go to the next storm and the next storm. But within those storms, there's so many lessons. And within those storms, you learn about what true resilience looks like. Within those storms is where you learn how you can push yourself to move past this moment and the lessons learned throughout this moment. So this is not going to be one of those, girl, you got it type of things. This is going to be like, no, let's really talk about it. Let's really get down to what it looks like. Resilience is not a trait that is, it is a learned trait, but it's not a trait that you kind of do by yourself. It's a collective. There's a purpose. It's intentional. There's a lot of things that goes to building that. So I'm excited about us diving into some of those things.
And I love how we're starting from a really authentic place, because it doesn't do leaders any good for us to talk about only the highlight reels. Because I found that when leaders really recognize that people like you who hold multiple influential spaces, so let's be authentic and real and give you your flowers, you are doing the thing, but also recognizing we can look at your highlight reels and then look at our valleys and begin to internalize that I'm not enough, when it really is, what will you learn in that valley so that you can continue your own personal journey, and providing those leaders who are in valleys right now with some practical strategies, mindsets, and as you shared, how do you create collective impact?
Yes. And also reminding leaders that, so you know how everyone posts everything on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and make you think that they are doing the thing all the time. They never have any problems, like one thing after another. Go. Listen.
Lies you tell.
The devil is a liar because that's not realistic.
Mhm.
The reality is that the valleys, I have valleys every day,
Mhm.
but I make a choice to get up.
Mhm.
I make a choice to start over. I do give myself grace and mercy, though. There will be days you can't find me, and I decide to hibernate. I will put on my anxiety blanket and cut on my secret love, Virgin River. I watched this Virgin. It's a great show and a stupid show at the same time, but it's one of those things that I do give myself time to also decompress, and that's
Yeah.
some of the things that I think some leaders forget, that it's okay to take a moment to get yourself together, to vent to a girlfriend and say, I am having a day. I don't know where to go. I don't know to go left, right, up, down. It is okay to have those moments, but also understand your responsibility that I know that people are watching me and how I'm
Mhm.
going to move forward. My children are watching me. My nieces are watching me. So
Yeah.
some of my girlfriends are watching me and saying, how are you doing? And I'm like, girl, I just called you and vented 5 hours ago. That's how I'm doing it. I'm sitting in front of a bucket of ice cream. That's how I'm doing it right now. But really being, having grace and mercy for yourself.
Mhm.
Because you can't pour from an empty cup. And I know everyone says that, but it's so true.
Mhm.
Like, you really need to be able to invest. And I say this because it's a reminder for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not just not saying this because it's cliche to say. I need to say it because I need to remind myself about these very things as well. So,
Yeah. There's so much that you are building and have built. Your commitment to the Pottstown community is fire. And
love
we're going
Pottstown.
we're going to dig into that. But to kind of walk us into that story of your work in Pottstown, as you think about how you have built your work connected to this concept of resilience, how do you actually define bold leadership?
Bold leadership, for me,
Mhm.
it is being vulnerable, transparent, unapologetic, collaborating effectively, and being able to truly assess the needs of the people that we're serving,
Mm.
and to be able to accept them where they are. Being able to ensure that the programming and the things that we are doing is not just to check a box. It is really to look at the systems that have been built within our community or that we ourselves are building to ensure that we're not just saying, okay, well, we have this, this, but really looking at a holistic approach to make sure that we're helping people so that once they come to us, who's our next trusted friend? Who's
Yeah.
the next trusted friend? And why is this important? It's important because the same way that leaders are depleted, so is the people that we're serving.
Yeah.
And when we have people in our community and we keep on bouncing them from one person to another, we're actually probably triggering their trauma.
Mhm.
And when we trigger their trauma, they're not going to be able to. They've already had multiple people leave.
Right.
So how are they going to trust us that we're here for them? And even as leaders, if you've had multiple leaders say, "I want to mentor you. I want you to be under my helm, like under my arm. I want to show you all these things." They say that and then they disappear. Well, now I'm looking. Now you might have taken a future leader and said, "Well, maybe I wasn't good enough for them to mentor me." So you take them from this up here of, oh wow, someone's looking, like they see me, they see the potential in me, to when you don't keep those promises, to, oh, what impact did that have? Like, did you take away their growth mindset
Mhm.
or set them back in their goals? So as leaders, there's things that we are accountable for.
It's interesting in how you define bold leadership. Nowhere in there did I hear you say being the loudest person in the room.
Mhm.
And you often, I've watched you be bold and humble all in the same space because your heart for leadership comes from a really authentic place. And it's not about territory. It's about addressing needs, whether it's something you have specifically or someone within your network that you have created a net
Mhm.
of support for those who are coming. And I've watched you do that in Pottstown. And can you tell me a little bit about, like, why is that? Why is your passion for that network so on fire for that community?
Well, it started with, I think you have to know a little bit about my history
Mm-hmm.
to understand that it started when I've always had a heart for people and didn't even realize I was doing things with that purpose to prepare me for now. So even in my corporate leadership, it was leadership development, it was student success, it was always like helping other people be successful. Then in the human service sector, it was around intake, it being the intake, the first point of contact for organizations, case management, and all these things that really like client facing. And you have to be able to accept people where they are unapologetically. And so then when I started Be Resilient, it came from a place of healing.
Mm-hmm.
So selfishly, Be Resilient was for me and my children to try to figure out how we were going to navigate after some really serious losses that we had. You know, I was going through something where I'm like, well, I know my children are watching, but how am I going to move forward? How am I going to make sure they move forward? How are we going to be resilient? And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It came with trials. Um, it came with a lot of things, the dirty. It came with some dirty. It
Mm-hmm.
came with the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
But now to be on the other side of that and the lessons learned, and there needs to be champions that are there for people at their lowest as well. No matter if it's a leader, someone in our community, we need to be there for that. We need to be able to have organizations in our community that says, you know what, it's not about the grant funding for us. It's about making sure that in 5 years, we don't want to have this problem.
Right.
We want to have a new
Right.
problem.
Right.
Like, we don't want to keep people where they are. We want to make sure that we've housed everybody. Now we're looking to find the next problem, you know,
Yes.
and moving forward. So I feel like because also others have given so much to me at my lowest, that it's almost my responsibility to do the same. And so, and especially in Pottstown, if you don't know about I love my Pottstown. I do. And I wasn't born and raised there. I was born in Duxbury, Massachusetts. And then my parents moved to Kimberton. And then my late husband purchased this home in Pottstown. And I have to tell you, like, at first I was like, I'm not sure about Pottstown. But Pottstown, as my children grew up in this area, I have seen families that have supported me through different things. I have supported families in other things. It just grows on you. You cannot. It has so much potential, you know, and so much. It is a community of family. Like, if you're walking down the street and you're like, people don't like Pottstown, they ain't hanging in the right areas, because Pottstown is where it's at. It is about to be. It is a vibe. It is a vibe. It's a whole vibe in Pottstown. So no, I'm in love with Pottstown. You know, both my children are out of the house, and minus my bonus baby, and now he's coming up through the school system in Pottstown, and it's just something about good, wholesome, diverse community that you want them to be a part of that. So he can go in my little one can go in any room, and he knows the mayor of Pottstown. He knows Joe Cerisi, but he also knows Henry, who drives up and down the street every now and then. You know what I mean? So it's something about that. And so I'm committed to Pottstown. I'm committed because it's where we laid our roots, and also because the generations to come after me deserve what were these seeds we are planting right now. And I know we'll get into them more, but there's some really amazing seeds that I want these children to be able to be get the fruits of all this labor. Because this labor that you and I won't probably get to see, some of it we may get to see, but these generations to come, truly systematic changes that we're working towards.
And you're really a relationship leader. I don't know if there's some type of leadership style that is wedded to relationship building, but I went to your latest opening of the Vibe, which is a whole vibe in Pottstown. And as I sat there, I watched people from all different types of backgrounds, of ages, generations, colors, socioeconomic status, career levels, literally all in the same room, supporting the opening of a space that will be an innovative hub on High Street of Pottstown. And so I'm curious, as a leader, oftentimes, and I literally just did this activity with a group of leaders in Altoona, where I challenged them to recognize, if you are comfortable, community doesn't mean comfort. And community isn't just about who you are going to influence that is closest to you. Community is about your reach. And I've watched how you've been able to create one of the most diverse reaches I have seen a leader have. How do you cultivate such a diverse group of people coming together to support one another?
Honestly, it is about relationships. So I'm not a transactional person. So I want to get to know you first, because transactions and all the support and doing things together, it'll come. But I want to know, like, how's your children? Did you drink water today? Did you eat today? Like, I'm that caring, motherly Libra that just that comes out of me naturally. But it also creates a space of, while we can do work together, those things come naturally. But at the end of the day, when we put our shoes on, we put our pants on, you're a person. So let's make sure that I'm connecting with you as a person. And most of the people that was in that room, I can call any of them and say, are you okay? Are you not okay? They can call me and ask me for any, like, I'm very comfortable with that. But it's about building those relationships, and authentically. So there's a difference in building relationships and authentically doing it.
And I felt that, like, in the space as I'm watching, and because I love just observing. I love people. I'm one of those people. I will sit and watch people all day long. And I watched authentic relationship happening. And I think it also, when I watch you, it also connects to, because you are relational, not transactional, you look for the human connection first as a leader. And you also come from a humble place, that it is not just about your territory, but it's also about this collective.
Yes.
And how do you encourage other leaders in the community to break down those walls of territory so that we can get to a better place?
I mean, I can encourage. And it's hard because, if you're talking about the nonprofit sector, there's a lot of competition. For me, I want to stay in my niche. I know what I'm good at. I'm a connector. I know that I can make sure that people get the resources they need. I know I can connect the dots and say, you should talk to them, and like really make an impact as far as connecting people. So you kind of caught me on that one.
No, you did. No, I'm with you. It's like you stay in your niche, but it's not just about you and yours.
Right.
Because you are a connector, you recognize what you do well, but you also assess what other people do well.
Right. And there's no need for there to be a million of us in one wheelhouse.
Right.
If we are trusted collaborators, then we're saying, you know what? Here's what let me learn more about you. And after you learn more about that person, now, you know what? I have a great friend who's powerful in this area. Now that person that we're talking to, whether it be a leader or a client, can say, oh, you know what? I can go in trusting this person because I was passed down from And not passed down where we
Relationship
never,
equity.
like we're never going to speak to them again. No, we still follow up. We still have that relationship, but we're saying, this is the next person in your pipeline that I trust that they'll be able to help you in this chapter of your life. And, being able to be honest and say, I don't know too much about banking. Like sometimes my math don't math. I'm just happy my card works. I'm one of those people. I'm like, oh, it's swiped. Sometimes I'm surprised. I'm like, hey, that's great. The Lord is good.
Yes, amen.
So, but being very transparent in those situations of what you're good at and staying there, because I think there's a blessing there, so.
Sometimes people, especially entrepreneurs, will try to do too much because they're afraid that they're going to miss out on something, when you become really clear on what aligns with your passion, your gifting, and you find your niche, it actually then allows you to be so crystal focused that when you need to create a connection, you're able to do that because you're not trying to fill this spot and that and deplete yourself because you're stretched so thin.
Right. And I can give you an example of where I saw this happening. So when Be ReZilient first started, it was healing through the arts. And then I transitioned the tagline to helping build resilient communities and minds, because all the work that we were doing was along those lines. And had I continued with healing through the arts, now I would be in this creative space where every now, like I do still have components of that, but that's not the space that God wanted me in at this time. And it's more around the building resilient communities and minds. So being able to be that connector, be that person that's able to provide those resources, making sure that authentic connections are being made. And even through the work of Force, we're very intentional about how we are going to align people in cohorts, being very intentional about how we're supporting them with their business analysis, being very intentional to say, we're not going to just give you the resources. We're not going to just keep on giving you things to say, okay, here's a workshop. Now go home, read it again. Good luck. Hope you do good. Love you. No, gone are those days. We are here to say, okay, we gave you the resource. Now let's see you. How did you do with that? Do you need more support? Let's make sure that you're ready, because change is coming. Revitalization is coming, especially in Pottstown. It's already there. It's hot and heavy. Investors are coming in. Yeah. They're buying up properties. There's so many things happening, good things happening, but it can be scary for a small business or entrepreneur, because if you're not ready, you're not going to be able to benefit from the RPs and the revitalization. And how do we make sure that our people are ready? Because ideally, we want our money to circulate within our community. So that I am intentional about. I'm intentional about who I spend my money with. Yeah. And I think everybody, I'll go look out and say, be intentional about who you spend your money with. And why? Because not everybody is deserving of my money. If 100%. I walk into a store and they make me feel like I am not like valued, or they want to watch me, they're going to watch me walk out. Unapologetically. Yeah. Because there is a respect that comes with how we spend our money. And gone are the days that I want to be able to say that I'm building up a name brand when I need to build up my community. Wow. Period.
There's so much in what you just said, and I feel like that there's so many pieces to what you just said that there could be a whole nother segment of the podcast. But one piece that I feel connecting to our conversation around Force is when leaders can watch the horizon and prepare people that you are serving for the horizon, not just constantly being reactive based on what's happening right now, or in this mode of constant urgency and grinding. But when a leader can look at the horizon and say, this is coming, I need to get people prepared. For me, that's true, bold leadership. That is a leader who is looking to revitalize a community because you can already see what's coming.
It's coming. It's coming, and it's coming fast. We're already behind a little bit, just because that's just the nature of
So, but
everything.
tell us more about FORCE. So you've created FORCE. It's an acronym.
Yes.
And you are preparing it for what you already see on the horizon. Why?
Because FORCE is the acronym is Fostering Opportunities and Resources Amongst Minority Enterprises. The reason why it is important is because at this time there are multiple projects within going on, and if we pull the numbers, you won't see as many minority enterprises, even more specifically, local minority enterprises that are ready or have been chosen for these projects. We need to prepare our small businesses, and there are other entities that have had the opportunity to do this. So now, since it wasn't on their priority list, it's on our priority list. I have an amazing advisory board that is also deep and committed to this community. And we're saying at this time, while revitalization is happening, we want to make sure that these companies are prepared for an RFP. So now I can go to an organization and say, we have 158 vetted businesses that are ready to be able to apply and bid for these RFPs. If they're not being utilized within our community, why?
Right.
Why is our elected officials, why is our people in the industries that are able to ensure that these businesses are being utilized, why are you choosing not to utilize them now? Because before it was they weren't credit worthy, they didn't have the RFPs, their structure wasn't done, they didn't have. So great, we heard you. And now with the relationship with Black Squirrel, as far as doing a business analysis, the partnership with the Department of Commerce, we're saying, now we heard you. Now we're providing you some vetted companies. Now tell us why now. There should not be an excuse, especially if we want our impact to be, so we're getting state funding, we're getting government funding, we're getting federal funding, wherever that funding is coming from. The story should be that we not only revitalized Pottstown, we made sure that the money stayed within Pottstown. So now we're taking some of our small businesses who are within the poverty rate, we're taking them out of the poverty rate, and now they're making a substantial living. Like this, I get so excited about this.
Yes,
I'm
love
like getting
it.
goosebumps
I know.
because
you're breaking cycles though as well.
Yes, you're breaking down barriers, breaking down systems that were made to be against our community. We're now saying, okay, see your system. Now I raise you one. So add this to your system. Why are we not doing it now? And I'm so excited about the generational impact this is going to have.
The cycle. Yes. Because breaking generational cycles that have kept people blocked out.
Yes. And if the children are seeing it and they're seeing
that part,
they're seeing their parents now be successful. So we're breaking the cycle of, okay, so sometimes when businesses are not successful, we have mental health, we have domestic violence, we have alcoholism. Those are the things that plague our communities when the resources aren't provided. You want to say it's other things, but honestly, it's the stress of just trying to figure out life. Let's just call it what it is. I'm sure other organizations want to say, oh no, it's mental health, it's this. In some situations it is, but other situations just like life then got really bad.
Yeah. And
they didn't have the resource. They didn't feel like they had someone to go to. They kept on hitting another brick wall. Like you go to one agency and the agency tell you have to go to another agency before you can get help at this agency. I would get tired too.
Yeah. And you're creating spaces, as you said, because you're a relationship-based leader who is not transactional. You are looking at the human. Because that's at your core, you have cultivated trusted relationships so that people aren't ping-ponged around the community. You're actually creating a warm pass-off.
Yes.
And I coach and work with home visitors, and we talk about it's not about making the phone call to the agency. It's about making the phone call to the person
Yes.
so that the person isn't, you're not just passing them a number and saying, oh, you need to call this agency. No, we have a relationship with this person in this organization that we forged a relationship with, and we know that they're trusted.
Yep.
We know that they're going to take care of you, and they're within our network.
Yep.
And so when that warm pass off happens, you know that they're not just going to be ping pong to somebody else.
No. Do you know how many times someone has stood before me, told me what their need was, and I was like, pause, hold on, give me a second. Picked up my phone, I'm sending so-and-so down to you. Hey, girl, sending so-and-so down to you because they need your support. And that is part of that. Like, I'm not a gatekeeper. If I know the knowledge, you know the knowledge. If I'm eating, you're eating. We're all eating. It doesn't have to be where we have to gatekeep this stuff. I truly believe the blessing, and I learned that from my parents, the blessing is in the giving.
Where does that come from, though? I'm trying to think about, so that scarcity mindset, I guess that's what's at the root. Like, why are there so many moments where I'm holding on to something that somebody else needs because I'm afraid that if I share it with you, there won't be enough left for me?
Yeah. So one is the nature of our nation right now with funding. You know, there's organizations that's really worried about if they're going to be able to stay open. It comes from a mindset of people who have had zero, and then they get something and they're like holding on because the fear of going back to that. And I've been in both those shoes. But there's joy, there's peace, there's
hope.
And being able to say, I don't need to hold on, because when you don't hold on, there's more to come. There's more to come.
And wouldn't you say that most funders, like the larger funding sources, are looking for collaborations? They're not actually funding individuals anymore.
Absolutely. They want their money to go farther, the impact to go farther. So when you act as a collective or as a collaboration, now you're seeing that, okay, so if you have an organization that works on mentorship, you have another organization that works on internships, and they're working together. Now that's a pipeline into success. That is an example of something that David Charles and I, my business partner and I, are doing at the Vibe Collective. So, you know, it's a pipeline. So he has mentorship, he has podcasting, he has a lot of great things that he's doing with the youth. And then I come in and I have internships, I have force for entrepreneurs. Then we have the Vibe Creative, which is a hub, and we have a whole bunch of resources coming there. So when you look at the pipelines and you're able to work collectively, now the impact is not, okay, we're only meeting 5 people separately. Now we're meeting 10 people together, and the money is going farther, because when you're looking, 5 people is not just 5 individuals. You're talking about 5 households, because when they go back home, they're taking some of those seeds and planting them at home. So now it's the trickle down effect of pollination. So, you know, it's really creating a more holistic system.
Which to me speaks to the difference between revitalizing a community and gentrification. Can you tell me how you see the difference between the two?
So revitalization is incorporating everyone. Revitalization is not taking away the uniqueness of the community. Revitalization is making change, but still making space for those who are here. A safe space for our children, a safe space where people can be seen and heard and feel like they belong. And that's something special and I just have to go back to the Vibe, because it's really talking about to the Vibe, because when you walk into the Vibe Creative Social Innovation Hub, that is the feeling that I've received from a lot of people. It feels like they belong. For a long time, there's been people that felt that they don't belong on High Street just because of some of the things that are happening there. There's restaurants they can't afford, or there's nowhere that they can take their families, or they just don't have a space that looks like them. And Revitalization is making sure that everyone is incorporated into the plan.
Yes. And I remember when we first started, my first visit to the Vibe, when it was still kind of in its shell state and your vision was so under construction, you still had the painters in there, and you said, well, let's go to lunch. And when I tell y'all, we walked down High Street and she told me about this owner and the family and the things they were going through. And then she said, and this place is owned by so and so, and they only come on this. Literally every building we walked past, heading to the restaurant we sat in, you were able to tell me the name of the person who owned the building, what they specialized in, why this place was so special. And that, for me, I was like, I don't even live in Pottstown, and I want to just hang out here.
Yeah.
There's connections. That's revitalization.
Yes.
That's revitalization. Yes. So I have all these questions. I don't think I've asked you any of them, because you just got me all off. I love all of it. So what are some practical ways that leaders can actually build resilience within their organizational teams? I know you have built networks, you're building teams. What kind of advice would you give to leaders who need to build teams that are purposeful, that are community focused? What do they need to keep in mind as a leader?
First of all, to be bold yourself, because leadership starts at the top and resilience starts at the top. When you set that example and you're transparent about the journey, it will trickle down. And it also, it's not an individual sport. It is a collective. It is a team sport. And they can see the need to be resilient even in just keeping the organization afloat. So being able to not hide the bad times, being able to be transparent. And that's hard for leaders because sometimes others will panic. They will panic. And I get it. You can't give all the tea, but you can make sure that they know that you are intentionally making decisions for the benefit of us all.
Yeah.
And also learning lessons. Like, I guess there are times when resiliency seems to be a fairy tale. You know, there's someone listening to this and saying, oh, she's all dreams. But it's not.
You've had the grit,
it's
though.
Not.
You've had the grit. They're saying this, but you've had to have the grit to get you here, and not just in a panic state, but in such a purposeful. For me, that's resilience.
Yeah. And even in chaos.
Yeah.
Like in chaos happens. And chaos will make you pull your hair out. But when you're able to move through the chaos and get on the other side of it, there's so many lessons there, and then it builds your tolerance. So you can get hit with the same thing again, and you're like, oh, I've been there.
Yes.
Okay.
So
did that.
So the chaos, the challenge. So you've been through all of those things. Can you, because our story, name of the show, is The Flip Side of Adversity. Can you tell our listeners a mindset shift or pivot that you yourself recognize you had to have in order to get to the place you are right now?
It's been several shifts. I can't even say it was one time that I've had to shift my mindset. Sometimes it's that growth mindset. Sometimes it's a mindset that I don't even know if it really exists, the woe is me mindset. But it's really being able to look outside the box as far as, so where am I in this moment? And being okay that the mindset that you have today is where you're at. Being okay that you have to be able to say, okay, this is where I'm at right now. I'm in chaos. I'm in chaos.
Naming it.
I'm naming it. I'm claiming it. But at the end of this day, we're going to go back into growth. We're going to go back into making moves. We're going to go back into being vulnerable, like all those pieces that changes that affects your mindset. So I think because a lot of people like to say, oh, well, people should be in the growth mindset. Just, they,
That's a journey.
That's not realistic. It's not everyday day. Sometimes you're in a mindset that you're like, why? Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes it just, I feel like, and I need to tell myself this as well, to breathe.
Those shifts of being able to name exactly what's happening, not run from it. Claim it, but don't remain in it.
I like that. That's another podcast.
Oh, look, she said that's another podcast. That's another podcast.
Claim it, but don't remain in it.
Yeah. And it's okay, because we can't fix the thing that we don't ever look at.
Right.
And so we're not talking about Pollyanna, pie in the sky, ignoring the challenges, because you're talking about very real systemic barriers as you're revitalizing communities. So you have to be willing to look at the truth, look at the hard thing, but then also stay innovative, which is at the heart of the vibe. So tell people a little bit more about what the vibe is and why it's so important that it's on High Street.
The vibe is the space they didn't want on High Street. And it's the space that anybody can walk through. The Vibe Creative Social Innovation Hub is going to be,
because it's open.
It's not going to
and
be,
it's full.
It is.
It is full. Yes.
It is.
I was there to witness it.
It is a place where co-working space can happen. It is a place where business leaders and community members or a group of elders can meet and just sit in front of the fireplace for our aunties out there, or on the leather chairs for our unks out there, and being able to see the teenagers and the network. Everything in that space is very intentional as far as the seating. You can't sit by yourself. Everything's communal. There's a kids nook. So even when if you're a business owner and you're having a meeting, or if you're a parent and you just need to have a meeting with each other, like two parents need to get a minute. There's a kids nook, so the kids can go in the kids nook and play. You can have a moment. They can be innovative. Let's say they might come up with an idea and they want to sell something. They come say, Miss Denise, we want to sell lemonade. I said that a couple of times. We're going to let those babies sell the lemonade out the vibe. I don't care. The health inspector can come if they want. And then we have the cafe. The cafe, that's just to get some people through the door, because we're also going to have the resources. So there's we're going to give hope bags for the children that come and are doing homework. I am doing a peanut butter and jelly drive, so the kids can get a peanut butter and jelly while they're doing their homework. Like, we're really meeting some needs and in a different way. So when you create the safe space, they will come. Being able to have their voices amplified through the podcast room, being able to have the resource room that intentionally, the name of the tables are called tribal tables. They are intentionally picked because the message of community, the message of a village carries throughout the whole entire space. And then the executive suite is there. But most importantly, it is outfitted by the art of Anastasia Foreman. And her art captures the soul
powerful
of our community. If you have not heard about her, you're about to find out.
Yes.
She's on Instagram, Anastasia Foreman, amazing artist. Everything in there was cultivated for that space. But when you look at her art, it's like the eyes of the people she paint is looking at you. She has not taken not one class. This is all a God-given talent. And she captured the heart of our community through her art, and more art is coming. And so I'm keep on telling her, I was like, this is your gallery. Like, just selfishly, I'm like, girl, keep on putting it up. You got more? Okay, got it.
It is amazing.
You have to come see it.
And you're creating spaces to spotlight small businesses.
Yes.
So that they can actually have a space where their name or their product resides so people can purchase on the spot. You recognize, because again, you're not a gatekeeper. You're not the one holding on to the information. It's all about sharing.
It's about sharing. So when you walk in, there'll be deliciously lemonade. She is, but her heart, she makes the best lemonade, but she's the sweetest person making it. The commercial kitchen will be there for entrepreneurs to come and do, I guess, prep work or, whatever that looks like. There's a young lady that goes to Pottstown High School. She makes desserts. Girl, come on, bring your desserts. We're going to sell your desserts. Now, I will tell you, there is one thing that is like not local. Well, it's local, but it's not from a small entrepreneur. We are going to have ice cream, and it's Brewster's ice cream. So good.
Yes.
So, but that gets people through the door.
Yes.
That gets us to be able to have that community coming in, supporting the small businesses that'll be there, supporting each other through the resources. I hope people come play games there. I hope the door is never shut.
What was the hardest thing to get the vibe off the ground?
The construction. I can't. If you want to, it was the construction.
The process itself.
The process itself. So I'm a person. I'm a visionary. I'm like, I can see the end, and I just need everyone to follow my steps. Because if you followed my steps, we would be done in November. I'm confused.
That's not construction.
Right. I don't understand why it took 6 weeks to do, because I came in thinking that this was like, you're just knocking down 3 or 4 walls. Like, I can take a sledgehammer, we can get these down. Didn't realize there's all these codes and all these other things you gotta do.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right. I'm like, oh, you can't just knock down a wall?
No.
Crazy.
Yes.
So really understanding that process, understanding the delay, that there's going to be delays. And being okay in that moment. So there was a time where I probably was up crying and crying to my partner saying, Rob, like, this is never going to get done. And he's like, it's going to get done.
It's going to get done.
But it was a process, because I know that the community needs it. So I was like, I wanted it done yesterday because the community needed it today. It's not like.
But what I'm hearing you say is you were rock solid in your why before the construction started.
Yes.
And because you were clear of your why and you were grounded and anchored in your why, when construction started and it didn't go the way you wanted it to go or the way that you planned it, you kept coming back to your why. Even when you were like, this is never going to happen, you kept coming back to your why so that you didn't give up on the overall vision, recognizing that there's stuff that you just aren't going to know ahead of time.
But also making sure that I had people surrounding me that reminded me. I can't say that I did that all myself. Making sure there was people surrounding me where I would call and cry, like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, and we should put the walls back. Like, I was like, so how much does it cost to replace the wall? It's just like, just replace that whole wall. We'll try again another day. But so having people around to support that. And also, I think the other thing that's important to let people know is when I first walked in the building 3 years ago, I think it was about 3 years ago, and I was just renting the back office. When I walked in, I said, one day this whole bottom is going to be. I thought one day would be 10 years, to be honest, never knowing it was 3 years. So I continue to manifest some things that are starting to really show up in places that I know that they need to happen for the community, but they're happening faster than I anticipated. So some of that also is being very grounded and transparent, is not rushing the process too. So for me, I'm in a hurry sometimes. So I need to be able to take a step back and say, okay, whew.
But also what you just said, I think, is important, because I'm re-going through several of John Gordon's books, so the Energy Bus and his book on complaining and the 7 commitments. And so I've been rereading them to continue to remind me of positive leadership and the power of it. And one of the things that you just said that I think some leaders, especially in scarcity times, need to remember are the power of your words.
Mm-hmm.
What are you walking around speaking over?
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying to the spaces that you're in? What are you speaking over your vision? What are you speaking over your dream?
Yes.
So because whatever you feed is going to multiply.
Yes.
And so 3 years ago, you walked into that space and you spoke over it with your dream and alignment and purpose. And here you are.
And here we are. Yes.
And so that's an accountability moment, I feel, for some leaders in this moment, because scarcity can have us in a really deep complaining place that can feel very toxic and can have us drift and spiral. But the opportunity to really be accountable for what you're saying and what you're saying over your dream.
Yes, you have to speak it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, my daughter taught me that.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter she manifests so much, even from getting jobs. She's like, I think I'm going to get a job. I'm going to change this, but she speaks it. And I've watched it happen over and over in her life. So that is a trait that I will say that it happened later in life for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And because of the example that she has set, because I didn't really, you can't believe something until you watch it happen. And I knew it could happen, but I hadn't seen it, or I didn't realize when it did happen within me.
Right.
So, because there's moments that things are happening and you're so blinded by everything else that you don't take in that time to see that, oh, this just happened to me. I just walked into a miracle. Sometimes chaos seems so crazy, you don't see the miracle within the chaos.
Yeah.
So that is a trait that I can say that I've learned from her, and how she speaks things. She speaks life. She manifests things. Her words, and she probably got it from somewhere. I probably trained.
The seed came from somewhere.
Seed came from somewhere. but I'm picking those flowers a little early.
Yeah.
So, but it's important, and especially as a leader, it's very important.
I can't believe how fast our hour has gone by already. Two things. First, I like for what's on the horizon for the vibe for Force that we want to let people know about. Anything that you can tell us?
Yes. So Vibe, this is going to be a space for you, for everybody. I don't want anyone out there to say, oh, I can't come. Yes, you can. You can come, find me. Let's talk. Let's sit by the
address?
249 East High Street in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Come, sit on the sofa, sit outside. This summertime, we will have some seating outside. But come and just be part of the community. If you are feeling by yourself and you're like, I don't want to sit by myself, then don't. Come to the Vibe. Come, let's inspire your dreams. Let's talk about it. What do you want to do? If you're a leader and you're at home and you're like, I feel lonely, come to the Vibe. Let's work together. If you're an entrepreneur and you're like sitting at home and I feel like I'm in the same rut, I don't know if I'm going to be successful, come to the Vibe. Let's do it together. This space, I'm very thankful that I'm in a position to be able to have this space in the Pottstown community for our region. It's not just for the community, because I want people from Phoenixville, Spring City, everywhere to come. I want everyone to come. Force is fostering opportunities and resources amongst minority enterprises, and we are looking for businesses that, if you want to do a business analysis, we have a free opportunity for you to do that. We are wanting to make sure that you have the structure you need for long-term success. So connect with Force. You are not by yourself. There is people out there that wants to provide the resources. Forcenetwork.org. And we're on Facebook, and we're also on Instagram. And if you email me, Denise Williams at Be ReZilient, spelled with a Z.org, I can make sure I connect you to all these things plus more. And then there's one more thing I want to tell everybody about, because we might as well just throw it all out there. They're it all. Just throw it all out there.
Give them everything.
We have Juneteenth coming up.
Yeah.
So Juneteenth is more than an event. It is about our community. It's about supporting minority enterprises. For the last 3 years, we have infused about $100,000 or more into the community just by having this gathering. So it's more than celebrating the Juneteenth. It is about empowering our community. It is about making sure that we're feeding into our youth. So that will be on June 13th this year on High Street. And then we have a beautiful gala where we're going to have that on the 19th. And we're looking to give 7 students $1,000 in scholarships. So, there's so much going on in Pottstown. I have a list of community partners that if I had the time, I can go through all these things that's happening, but please, come. You're not by yourself.
Yeah.
You're not alone. Pottstown is a vibe. Come join the vibe.
And you actually led into my second thing. I said 2 things. I'm a strong believer that these episodes land in the hands of leaders at pivotal moments. And I'd like for you to speak directly to a leader, for someone who's listening, who actually wants to be a bold leader. They want to be a bold force in their community, but they're feeling uncertain. They're questioning where to start. So if you could speak to that leader who wants to be bold, who wants to lead and be resilient, speak to them about their first start. What's their first step to help them move past fear?
Hey, leader, your first step is to take that step. Don't be stagnant. And one step. It doesn't have to be a hurdle. It can be a snail-like movement. You are worthy of what's on the other side of this hurdle. Your purpose has already been ordained. You are here for a reason. Don't forget your why. Move boldly, unapologetically, intentional, with attitude. All the attitude that you see me saying, move it with attitude. Because at the end of the day, if you were not the right person, God would not have given you these gifts for you to use. And for those who have been given gifts, we are obligated to use them. If you feel alone, listen, 249 East High Street, I make time. I know other people will make time. You are not alone. And whatever you're feeling, we can walk boldly. Walk boldly in rooms where people do not accept you. I love that. You are meant to be here for a reason. You are resilient with a Z, not an S. If you spell it with an S, it makes it seem like life is smooth. And we know life is not smooth. You have to overcome barriers. So you spell it with a Z so you never forget where you started from and how you had to overcome different things in order to make it past this moment and get to the rainbow. Walk boldly, leader. Fearless.
So, as we close out tonight, I want to bring us back to something Denise said that I don't want you to miss. Resilience is not just personal. It's a collective. It's a movement. Because the truth is, none of us were meant to lead alone. Not in business, not in community, and not in life. And yet, so many leaders are out here trying to figure it out in isolation, carrying the weight of vision, responsibility, and expectations without the support system to sustain it. But what Denise has shared with us tonight is that bold leadership is not about doing more. It's about building better, wiser, better systems, better support, better alignment. When you're aligning between your purpose and your capacity, we're able to actually trust the process. We talked about that trust. We talked about empathy. We talked about meeting people where they are. And I want to add this. Leaders, you have to meet yourself where you are too. because you cannot build resilient communities if you are running on empty. You cannot sustain impact if you are constantly in survival mode. So here's your action. Remember, every episode is not just about watching, it's about what you're going to do. So pause and assess where you are leading from. Is it pressure or purpose? What systems do you need to put in place to support your next level move? Who do you need in your circle to help you carry the vision forward? Because being bold, being a force, is not about forcing it all. It's about alignment. It's about intention. It's about sustainability. And when you lead from that place, you don't just grow, you actually help everything connected to you grow too. That's the flip side of adversity. And I'm so glad that you joined into this conversation. And so we'll see you same time, same place, right here on the flip side. We'll see you next week.